to knock out the giant in your country, David versus Goliath, they cowered. It was like a puppy putting its tails between its legs.
He's got the most goal involvements now, just behind David Beckham, by an English player in the Champions League. David Beckham with 52, and then he's overtaken Wayne Rooney, of course, who was just behind him. Let's hear from the man of the match from tonight's match.
Harry Kane, a massive win. It wasn't really on the card considering how close these games have been against Leverkusen. What made the difference today?
Yeah, I think we took the moments well. You know, the first goal, kind of a bit out of nowhere, weren't a big chance, but we managed to take that moment. And then I felt like we grew into the game. But at 1-0, it's still really tight. The second goal was obviously a mistake that we capitalised on, and then the sending off. So the momentum just kept going in our favour, and we was able to, you know, keep adding to the scoreline. It would have been nice to get another goal right at the end there with that chance, but. Yeah, overall a really dominant performance, but as always, you know, this is the first leg, you can't get carried away. We know what type of team they are, we know they can be really dangerous, and next week will be tough.
Bayern was so sharp and so aggressive off the ball as well. Did you feel that coming in midweek? Did you feel that extra intensity?
I think so. I think we felt the hype around the game. We knew we was here at the Allianz. There was a lot of talk after the last performance away from home, but you know, there was a lot of different factors that went into that game. And yeah, we was fresh. You know, we come off playing Friday night. We had good time to prepare. Everyone was ready to go out there and have, you know, a high intensity, especially without the ball. And that's where the game was won really today. I think, you know, tidying up on the second ball, was controlling the game from there, transition from there, and we made it really difficult for them. But yeah, Tuesday will be no different. You know, we play on Saturday and then Tuesday, so it's another quick turnaround. We have to be ready with the same intensity.
Hadn't scored it in 4 matches, but he had to tonight, and he's among the top goal scorers of this Champions League season. In 10 matches, he's got 9 goals. He's with good company as well, Robert Lewandowski and Rafinha, and then Kouassi, who has 10 goals in 11 matches. Harry Kane's got 21 goals in 22 games in the Bundesliga this season. I mean, overall, Nico, though, were you kind of surprised with the way that it played out? Were you expecting a tighter match between Bayer Leverkusen and Bayern Munich?
Absolutely. I'm so disappointed with the game that we got between Bayern Munich and Bayer Leverkusen, because in the build-up, we were waiting for this to be such a contested tactical matchup between two managers, someone like Vincent Kompany that had something to prove, someone like Xabi Alonso to show his prowess at this stage, and Bayer Leverkusen with the mistakes that they made in the Champions League to knock out the giant in your country, David versus Goliath, they cowered. It was like a puppy putting its tails between its legs. They were not up for it.
But then how much blame would you give that to Xabi Alonso with the starting lineup? You know, we talked about it, about the starting lineup that he chose, and not having a recognised striker starting. So your
top goal scorer on the bench, Patrick Schick. He did the whole thing again with Jeremy Frimpong, like in the Europa League final. Played him in a more advanced position. He's the one that puts Mukiele out there instead of Jeremy Frimpong on the right-hand side. I get it. When we saw the team sheets and we said Frimpong further up the field, all right, Bayern plays a high back line. Jeremy Frimpong is going to be in a good position to running behind. He's quick. He's faster than Kim. He's faster than Upamecano.
You said that he should have scored. Your top goal scorers on the bench. And then you start to see the players just start to lose their way. The second goal just killed it. The second goal was like a knockout punch.
You can't do that.
Where you just drop the ball as the goalkeeper did.
Is the tie over, do you think?
The tie's over, I feel so. I cannot see Bayer Leverkusen.
Even though they're at home in the next leg?
They can be at home, but Bayern Munich seem determined. Harry Kane's just said it as well there in that thing. We know the pressure around this match. We know the expectation. Now they've got themselves a good, comfortable lead. It will have to take a catastrophe for Bayer Leverkusen to turn this tie around. And even at the end, just to add to it, in that game, we saw ourselves about the disagreement between the two players on the bench, and it was Frimpong with Florian Wirtz on the bench. We don't know if they're arguing with one another, but look at the frustration there. This is not something we've seen a lot between Bayer Leverkusen's side, so there's a lot we can read into it. But that's that is their most talented player. And the frustration is showing there. Doesn't read well.
They wilted like a delicate flower. Bayer Leverkusen, that it was so mighty, just stupid mistakes. The goalkeeper can't be dropping the ball between his palms. The right back on a booking has to be tighter on the defense. He can't be stepping on someone's calf.
But even if it's 2-0 down, Tapsoba's attempt to mark Harry Kane, to concede a penalty like that, to go 3-0 down, that's the tie over. For me, that's lazy defending. If I was a coach or manager, I'll be pulling my hair and going crazy if I had any hair. But I know Grella just gave me a little cheeky look. But I'll be going crazy because for me, you've got to do your job. It's compete. You can be tight, yes, follow Harry Kane, but to literally rugby tackle him in the modern game with cameras and VAR, I just don't understand how some footballers think nowadays.
I think Xabi Alonso, with the starting lineup and the way that they played, they invited Bayern Munich to come to the game and dominate the game. And when they do that against Bayern Munich, they sit in a defensive shell and they play very negative. Of course, then Bayern Munich has the quality to hurt you, and they did that. I think if they got out of there 1-0, okay, that was a story. Then you could talk about Xabi Alonso, you could talk about the performance not being there. But when you... Now, let's talk about the different compartment of the game. The two mistakes that you add in that are very naive mistakes, that ended the tie. So we could have been talking here about the conversation of it was a poor performance. They got dominated by Bayern, but the tie is still alive. The two mistakes effectively end the tie. And they're mistakes that you normally don't see at the Champions League level. From the goalkeepers are always, you never know, the goalkeepers.
There we go.
Yeah, but they always
goalkeepers killed it today. I'm sorry, I'm not taking the goalkeeper slander.
But you never know because they're the last line of defense. It's easy to make a mistake. You misjudged it, whatever. They're in a different category.
No, that's unacceptable. What happened today?
But I will say that the hold for the. I mean, that's you can get you got to be ball side, goal side, right? So between the ball and the attacker. The second that you lose that position, that's okay, but at some point you have to let go and say, okay, I lost him. You know, but when you do this,
he never lost him. He just hugged him the whole time.
Yeah.
He was like trying to do a tango.
No. Once he loses him he loses the ball side, goal side position. He's here now. You're supposed to have him here. He's here now. Okay, he's you're in a bad spot.
You'd have gone down first touch.
No, but first of all, you can't let him there. You can't let him in there. But once you let him in there, you can't touch him.
It's too easy. Bayer Leverkusen has shown their prowess, their fangs. They knock you out when they can. Today, it felt with those mistakes that they figuratively threw in the towel. I know they didn't give up, but
the thing for the second leg is now Bayer Leverkusen have to go for it at home. That will still suit Bayern Munich perfect. They've got the players and the capability with Uluse, Musiala, players who can hit them on the counter-attack and get that goal as well.
What a win for Bayern Munich, and looking at their last 22 matches at home in the Champions League, you've got every reason to think that this could be a very special season for Bayern Munich in the Champions League, Grella.
Yeah, they got big power, big pieces. They're back to the top of the Bundesliga. They lead in every statistical category. They score a ton of goals. They don't concede anything. But for me, when you compare them to, I don't know, Real Madrid, Atletico Madrid, Liverpool's of the world, they're missing just something from those top level teams that I think are the favorites. Barcelona, I would include in there as well. They're missing something. They still have a mistake in them. They lost the Feyenoord 3-0. It's a little bit
weakness still.
Defensively, you're not always convinced. But they have the tools to compete.
If I'm Lautaro and Thuram, I want to bully Upamecano and Kim.
They've been very good at home, though, haven't they, Bayern Munich?